There are secrets that protect you, and others that expose you quietly. Not because you were careless, not because you were foolish, but because you shared too casually, trusted too fast, and forgot that silence is a shield. The real risk isn't always what people hide from you, it's what you give away without meaning to. One random post, one thoughtless comment, one seemingly innocent story, and suddenly your privacy belongs to everyone in this era where someone is always watching. On the internet, in public, or in the dark, small bits of info can trace your entire life. We live in a culture that celebrates transparency, yet forgets that the Stoics, masters of inner power, taught us that not everything needs to be spoken, because sometimes what you say becomes your soft spot, and life won't always offer you a chance to unsay it. In today's video, we'll unpack 5 things you should never reveal if you care about your safety, peace, or future. These aren't loud mistakes, they're quiet ones that feel small until they cost you big. And if you're here for truth, for growth, for real strategy, then please take a second to subscribe. No pressure, only if this hits home. There's a moment after success where you want to share it. You nailed the interview, closed the deal, drove off in that new car, and you want the world to see it, to see you, to see the hours, the sacrifice, the struggle that led here, and that desire. It's natural, it's human, but the world, not everyone is cheering for you. Some are watching for the wrong reasons. In this age where attention feels like progress, where every win is posted as proof, we've turned private wins into public risks. Bought a home, post it. Got a promotion, share it. Finally cleared a loan, announce it. But each post, every image, every caption sends a message, not just of victory, but of status. And status attracts eyes, not all of them kind. Think of that picture. You smiling, keys in hand, standing in front of your door. In that one frame you might reveal your street, your building style, your neighborhood, even that you live alone. That snapshot, a stranger with motive could study it, unpack it, and find you. Aristotle said, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And when it comes to how much others can learn from what you post, that wisdom is spot on. We think like optimists, trusting, hopeful, but the internet doesn't screen your viewers. Your post can reach an acquaintance, a stranger, a former friend, or someone looking to take advantage. That's what happened to Rachel. Years of saving, hard work, and finally, her own place. She celebrated online, as many do. A few pictures, a caption, a set of keys. 2 months later, her home broken into. Twice. No lavish photos, no flaunting, just exposure, and that was enough. To the wrong eyes, visibility is opportunity, and to those looking for an easy target. Rachel looked easy. Here's what they don't teach you. Criminals don't often target the super rich. Why would they? Cameras, security, lawyers, too much risk. But you're accessible. You have just enough to tempt and not enough to guard it. You might think, I don't have anything worth taking, but to someone desperate, your little bit is more than enough. Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But that becoming, it doesn't require you to announce every step. Especially to a world that doesn't always have your best interests in mind. We confuse self-expression with self-exposure. We think sharing is empowering, but sometimes the bravest thing is to keep it to yourself. There's a psychological loop here. It's addictive. The likes, the comments, the emojis, they feed the ego. And the ego loves being fed. But the Stoics warned us. Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. We imagine the praise. We don't imagine the cost. Here's a tool, a simple check-in. Before you share something, pause. Ask yourself, who is this for? Why am I posting it? Is it to motivate or to impress? If it's for approval, ask yourself why. Why does their validation matter more than your peace? Privacy isn't hiding, it's wisdom, it's understanding that what's sacred doesn't have to be shown to be real. It's guarding your life like a rare text, not out of fear but out of respect for its worth. Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living, but the overexposed life, that's a landmine. Every financial upgrade, every lifestyle flex, these aren't just posts, they're signals, and signals attract." So here's your takeaway. Stop revealing your financial blueprint. Don't announce your income, bonuses, debts cleared, or purchases. Protect your wins. Share them, sure, but only with people who've earned that privilege. Your inner circle should be small, trusted, discreet. Everyone else, let them wonder. Next time you feel the urge to post that new upgrade, think twice. Not because pride is bad, but because your pride shouldn't become bait for someone else. There's a difference between celebrating and broadcasting. One keeps your joy safe, the other puts it on a billboard. And if you ever feel tempted to overshare, remember, Marcus Aurelius, he who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. You don't need applause to validate your journey. You don't need to prove anything to be at peace. Keep your money talk private. Let your life speak quietly, powerfully. Because today, silence isn't just golden, it's strategic. It's safety, it's power, and strange as it sounds, we often forget we're being watched. Not always by threats, sometimes just by scrollers, but sometimes someone is watching with a plan, not to cheer, not to reconnect, but to act. And that's when it turns dangerous. Not because you did wrong, but because you underestimated your visibility. We share our locations without thinking. At the airport, post it. At the beach, tag it. Coffee shop, add the street name. It feels normal. But normal doesn't always mean wise. Real-time posting is like hanging a flashing sign on your virtual door that reads, "I'm not home." And once that's online, there's no delete button. That post stays. Let me tell you about Maya. She was in love, engaged. A spontaneous winter trip to Lake Tahoe. The snow, the trees, the cabin, perfect. She shared it all, the journey, the meals, a selfie, no service, no stress. But someone was watching, someone she'd cut off, but who hadn't forgotten. He knew where she wasn't, her apartment, empty, it was broken into while she was away. Nothing expensive taken, but everything moved. Drawers open, clothes disturbed, personal things touched. It wasn't theft. It was message, control, access. A signal, I can get to you. Here's where most people misstep. Maya's mistake wasn't taking the trip. She didn't do anything wrong by living fully. Her error was when she shared, not what she shared, and that timing, that one subtle detail, turned a peaceful escape into a memory stained by violation. Plato once said, "The wise speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." The same truth applies to social posts. We share to feel seen, to feel validated, to feel part of something, but visibility isn't free, it has a price, and if you're not careful, that price is peace, or worse, beneath the sharing is a deeper human yearning, to belong, to matter, to be witnessed. Look, I'm living too. But that desire, unguarded, becomes a security risk. We trade our safety for digital approval, and that exchange, never worth it. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." We unknowingly lay out our lives, our routines, habits, favorite places, and call it content, but to the wrong person. It's a map that daily 6 a.m. jog you share. Now they know when you're not home your Wednesday night yoga class. They know your location and your absence, what you see as routine. They see as opportunity. The Stoics warned us, not just about words, but behavior. Epictetus said, "Be silent for the most part," or, "If you speak, say only what is necessary." This isn't about withdrawing, it's about wielding discipline. There's power in mystery. There's security in privacy, and in a world obsessed with announcing everything, the one who holds something back holds real power. So here's your move. Delay your posts. Share that sunset when you're already home. Tag the restaurant only after you've left. Post about your trip when you're safely back, not out of fear, out of wisdom, and start making your routine less visible. You don't owe anyone a step-by-step play of your day. Some things should stay sacred. You can be fully present without documenting. Every moment, Socrates warned us, beware the barrenness of a busy life. We're so busy telling the world where we are that we forget to protect ourselves in it. Your location isn't just a coordinate. It's a layer of defense, and oversharing punches holes in that armor. So ask yourself, who really needs to know where you are right now? Is it everyone, or just a few who truly care? If it's the latter, there are safer ways to stay connected than a post that 400 strangers might see. And one last piece of wisdom. If you ever get that sinking feeling that someone knows where you are and they shouldn't, trust it. That's not paranoia. It's your deep instinct, reading signals that your mind hasn't yet understood. Your gut is smarter than your ego. Live wisely. Move quietly. Share purposefully. The people who stay safest in this world aren't the ones who shout the loudest. They're the ones who know when to stay silent. There's an odd truth about safety today. We install cameras, alarms, motion lights, and then tell everyone online about it, like putting on the best armor, and then challenging the world to test it, not on purpose, but with a single comment, a casual, "Look how prepared I am" post. We end up exposing the things we're trying to protect, feeling proud of your security. Upgrades is natural. Maybe you finally installed a safe, upgraded to remote monitoring, added tech like a fingerprint lock. But here's where it goes wrong. When you start talking about it online, in group chats, in forums, with people you barely know. That's how protection becomes public blueprint. Take Greg, for example. Tech guy, new house, new baby. He invested in a top-tier biometric safe, joined an online renovation forum, posted about it. Brand, scanner type, location in the closet a little. James Bond, joke 2 weeks later, the safe was gone, nothing else touched. No forced entry, just precision. It wasn't random, it was strategy. And Greg handed them the playbook. What he missed, what many of us miss, is that every detail we drop builds a map, not just to our possessions, but to our routines, our defenses, our vulnerabilities, and those who want to do harm. They're not always loud, sometimes they're just quietly watching. Carl Jung said, "In all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order." And people with malice, they see that order in our oversharing. They connect the dots, turn casual mentions into strategic opportunities. We think we need to shout to be heard, but online, a whisper is enough and everything echoes. The Stoics knew this. Epictetus taught, "Say only what is necessary." Not to silence you, but to protect you, because once words escape, they can be used against you. Think of your home like a fortress, not just bricks and locks, but a strategy of restraint. Would a general hand a map to the enemy? Of course not. Real strength lies in mystery. The less others know, the more control you keep. And this includes people you think mean. Well, the nosy colleague, the chatty neighbor, that quiet online follower who never comments, but always watches. Information travels, and intention doesn't always make sense. Sometimes the danger isn't what you say, it's what you reveal. You don't have, I don't have an alarm. I don't own a dog. Just me in this little house. You think you're being modest, but to someone else, you're waving a flag, inviting them to test your limits. Criminals don't look for challenges, they look for easy paths, and if you present yourself as one, don't be surprised when someone steps in. Plato reminded us, a wise man speaks because he has something to say, a fool because he has to say something. Let that apply to your safety if it isn't necessary. Don't say it, ask yourself, why share this? What do I gain? And is it worth what I might lose? Real preparedness isn't loud, it's silent, it's strategic, and it's your best defense. We've been conditioned to believe that openness equals authenticity, that sharing every little detail makes us more human, more relatable. But in truth, we're creating a blueprint and handing it out freely. Carl Jung once said, "The world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you." But now, the world doesn't even have to ask. We've already told it. And worse, we've told people we don't know. People who don't care about who we are. They care about what they can do with that information. Let me tell you about Melissa. High school teacher, bright, outgoing. She loved connecting online, posting memes, sharing stories, joining viral quizzes. Favorite band? Pearl Jam. First pet? Lucky. Hometown? Dayton, the school where she taught, publicly listed. A few weeks later, her email was breached. Her bank flagged activity. Her shopping accounts were locked. And it wasn't some sophisticated hack. It was a collection of small, seemingly innocent details, assembled by someone who knew what to look for. It's easy to think, that won't happen to me. But identity theft doesn't always come in one big swoop. Sometimes it's slow. A few fake transactions. A duplicate account. A new phone line in your name, and before you realize it, you're defending yourself against a version of you someone else built. The Stoics warned us of illusions. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That applies to your digital self too. If the information you're sharing serves no purpose, why share it? Let's get practical. Most security questions, your mother's maiden name, first school, first car, are things many people post about. A quick look through old Facebook posts, tags, comments, or photos, and someone can assemble your profile. And the scary part? They don't need to be hackers, just patient. They collect crumbs, they connect dots, they build a shadow you and use it. Plato once said, "The measure of a man is what he does with power." Today, information is power, and we're giving it away without question. So what should you do? First, audit your digital footprint. Remove posts that expose sensitive details, birthdays, family names, hometowns. Second, use fake answers for security questions. Make them up. Store them securely in a password manager. If your first pet was Lucky, but your security answer is Teacup Fire Truck 39, good luck to anyone trying to guess it. Socrates said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." Your followers don't need to know everything, especially not the things that give others leverage. Think of your identity like a vault. Every post, every comment, every memory is either a lock or a key. Are you building security or handing out access? Information isn't just data, it's permission. And when that permission lands in the wrong hands, it doesn't just cost money, it costs peace, time, reputation. Aristotle taught, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. In the digital age, that wisdom means protecting what you know about yourself, not out of fear, but awareness. Awareness turns noise into clarity. Clarity keeps you a step ahead. So here's your final check. Before you share that fun fact or join that harmless quiz, ask yourself, who really needs to know this? What could someone do with it if they didn't have good intentions? Protect your identity like your passport, because in this world, it is. And once it's stolen, getting it back isn't just a headache, it's a war. One you can avoid with silence and intention. What you guard says more about your power than what you reveal. In a world profiting from your openness, privacy is strength, restraint is wisdom, and silence, that's control. If this message resonated, there's more waiting. Watch the next video. It's not just a link, it's a step. You're part of Stoic Journal, where thought meets discipline, and wisdom becomes practice. Until next time, stay sharp, stay discerning, and never forget, your silence isn't a void, it's a strategy.